Monday Night Football is finally here, ladies and gentlemen, and I am so incredibly excited. So let's go ahead and dive straight into it. Yo, what is going on, you guys? I hope everybody is having a great day today. It's your boy King Sanders here, and we are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Monday, September 12th slate of NFL action. This is going to be for Monday Night Football, the first official Monday Night Football of the entire year. I'm super stoked to dive into it, but before we did, I did just want to go ahead and say, you guys have been showing me a lot of support here recently. You guys have been killing that like and subscribe button, dropping comments, the whole 9 yards, so thank you guys so much for all the support you guys have been showing. We are still currently on the road to 7,000 subscribers. We're about 160 away from that mark as of right now. If we do end up hitting the 7,000 mark by the time that the NBA season does start, I'm going to be doing a pretty big giveaway, and you guys will not want to miss it. So make sure that you guys do hit that sub button. And also, I did just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do. And thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance, as I always say. It truly does mean the absolute world to me. So we do have the Broncos versus the Seahawks here. I'm super excited. I feel like it should actually be a surprisingly good game. I'm really excited to dive into it. I found 3 plays that I think I really like, so we're going to go ahead and dive into it. But before we hop into those plays and just a quick recap from yesterday, just a quick word here from our sponsor. This video is brought to you by PrizePicks. If you guys don't currently have a sports book that you do use, or if you do have one and you're just looking for something new, PrizePicks is a great way to get started. As you guys can see here on the screen, we are able to bet on pretty much every single sport that you can think of. We have MLB, we have the NFL, as of right now is the preseason, we have college football, we even have things like CSGO and some esports as well. And obviously, as you guys know, I'm a huge NBA guy, so once the NBA season does come around, you guys will be able to bet on player props from there as well. PrizePicks is very, very easy to use. I do love the no-run first innings, and that is something that you can go ahead and bet on here on PrizePicks as well. It's an absolutely fantastic app and website as well. So if you guys haven't already signed up for PrizePicks, make sure that you guys do that and use code KingSanders, and you can go ahead and get a deposit match bonus of up to $100. So the way that it does work is you go ahead and pick a couple here. So I'm just going to, for the sake of the video, say that the White Sox and the Orioles tomorrow are going to have a no-run first inning. The Toronto and Boston and the Cincinnati and Philadelphia are all going to have no-run first inning. Basically what I would do, I would go ahead and click less for all of these and do what is called a power play, which is basically the same as a parlay. All 3 legs do have to hit in order for the bet to actually cash out. On the flip side of things, you can also do a flex play. The flex play basically means if you do get one of the legs wrong, that's perfectly fine. You can still win some money. So PrizePicks is a great way to be able to win some money using player props and things of that nature to be able to win some money. So you can put together a bunch of different legs to win out some pretty big money. So once again, make sure you guys do use code KingSanders for whenever you do sign up. You will get a deposit match bonus of up to $100. And once again, thank you so much, PrizePicks, for sponsoring today's video. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally here. The first official Sunday of NFL games has completed, and we actually had some really, really solid games, including the Pittsburgh and Cincinnati game. That one was absolutely insane. Like the double overtime was just nuts. The blocked game winner, basically. The whole 9 yards. Just the entire game was absolutely crazy. And there was just so many good games, including my Chicago Bears got a win. That's really exciting. It doesn't really happen too much, but we started off the season with a win despite the 49ers not having George Kittle. We took advantage of it, and it was a very crappy weather day. If you guys were watching that game at all, it was just pouring. It was absolutely pouring left and right. But we ended up having 4 plays yesterday, including our first King's Kill Shot play of the day, and we ended up cashing that one. We had the Patriots and the Dolphins under 46.5 at -110. No sweat whatsoever. I think that Miami, they had like 21, I believe, and I think that the Patriots had less than 10. I don't even remember exactly. I was keeping up with it on my phone, but I just knew that it was cash, and it ended up working out for us. Then we had the Colts, -7 versus the Falcons. This was so frustrating. This game was absolutely so frustrating. Colts had so many opportunities to take advantage, and they just truly didn't. And I did want to go ahead and say that as of yesterday's video, I did say that the Colts were playing the Falcons. I do apologize about that. They 100% weren't. They were playing the Texans. So I did all my stats for the wrong team. That's just the way it is. So I do apologize about that. But that one ended up not working out for us anyway. Then we had Darnell Mooney, over 5 receptions versus the 49ers at minus 122. This game, like I said, it was awful weather, and I'll flash something up here, but it was atrocious weather. And so with that being said, Justin Fields barely threw the ball. And when he did, it was like a dink and dunk play, and Mooney only got 1 reception for 8 yards. So it was very unfortunate. I saw, obviously I live here in Central Illinois. When I woke up this morning and I saw how much it was raining, I hammered the under. I really did. I knew that there was just no chance. And then we did end up having the Packers and the Vikings under 46.5 points at minus 105. Both these teams, Minnesota primarily. Minnesota started out the game pretty hot. I was a little bit worried about it at the beginning, but then both teams slowed down and it ended up working out for us pretty easy. So the unders were a fantastic play as of yesterday. So hopefully we can go ahead and find some more winners here for us. So without any further ado, let's dive into it. Our first play of the day. We're taking another under. We're going with the Broncos and the Seahawks under 44.5 at minus 115 odds. Now, I like this for a couple different reasons. I mean, obviously, Russell Wilson is now on the Broncos. Russell Wilson is going to elevate that offense to a whole new level. I get that. I think that it's a great spot for Russell Wilson. I think that he is really, really going to thrive in Denver. Truly, I do. But if you take a look at it, both these team totals they just seem a little bit fishy. The Broncos team total is set to 26.5, and it's minus 115 boosted to the under, so nothing too crazy, but it is boosted just a touch bit to the under. Seahawks are kind of in a similar position, but theirs is bumped all the way down to 19.5, and the under is set at minus 115. So I think that it's a pretty good spot. I mean, both these team totals are pretty low, and I feel like it's kind of for a reason. I feel like they're wanting a lot of people to hammer the over, especially in such a great narrative game. Russell Wilson back in Seattle. So I do think that there is going to be a little bit of a narrative too with that, just because both these teams are going to be going head to head. I feel like the Seahawks defense could potentially step up to it, and hopefully they do, for the sake of this bet, of course. And if you look at it, Seahawks, their touchdown prop is only set to 1.5, so they barely expect this team to score a touchdown. And so if that's the case, I just don't know. I mean, the Broncos definitely could go out and score 40. There's no doubt about it. They definitely could. But Seattle, they were also 16th in points per game last year, and they obviously lost Russell Wilson since then, so they are going to be worse when it comes to scoring points. Denver, they were 23rd in the NFL in points per game, and they gained Russell Wilson. So I do think that these two teams are essentially going to swap, especially here for the first week of the entire NFL season. So Denver is also 9th in opponents' yards per game last year. So I think that if this Broncos team can shut down the Hawks and end up keeping them to a very minimum amount of points, I think that this under is going to hit. I just feel like the Seahawks don't really have enough weapons. Obviously, they do have Tyler Lockett and they do have DK Metcalf. Obviously, great receivers. But they don't really have any great quarterbacks to throw to them anymore, and I do worry about that, especially from the Seahawks side of things. And I know that DK Metcalf it's kind of seemed like he was a little bit on edge about everything recently, so especially with like losing Russell Wilson and stuff like that. So who really knows how this team is going to gel? So I really do like this play. We're going to be riding with it. Broncos and the Seahawks under 44.5 at minus 115 odds. Now for our second play today, we're taking Will Disley under 11.5 receiving yards here versus Denver at minus 115 odds. Another play that does go with our under. Now, I do like this play for a couple different reasons. Noah Fant was on the opposite side of things here. He was on Denver as of last year, and he is going to be having a revenge game here on Seahawks. He is now on the Seahawks roster, and he's going to be going against his former team. I feel like the Seahawks are going to be keeping him out there for a long time, and now that since he is on the Seahawks, Will Disley is now a second-string tight end. I don't foresee him getting a whole lot of run. And even when he did get potentially the full run last year, he did only average 1.4 receptions per game last year. So he was only getting one, maybe two catches on like per game over the course of the whole season. And that was with Russell Wilson at quarterback. Now he does have Geno Smith or Drew Lock, whoever they end up playing there at quarterback. And newsflash, just in case if you guys didn't know, that's a huge downgrade from Russell Wilson, in my opinion. I truly do believe so. And also, Will Disley has hit this under in 3 of his last 4 games when he was seeing a lot more targets as well. So I do think that this is a pretty good spot here for another under. And the Broncos, they are 9th when it comes to yards allowed over, like, just in a totality, but they're 8th when it comes to passing yards allowed. So they're a really good shutdown defense. I know the team's not exactly the same as it was last year, but I do think they can get it done. So that is going to be our second play of the day. Will Disley, under 11.5 receiving yards versus Denver at minus 115 odds. Now for our third and final play of the day, I felt like I had to take a side, man. So we're going to be going with the Broncos minus 3.5, but we're only taking it in the first half versus Seahawks at minus 115 odds. Now I know I could take the full game, but I didn't feel comfortable taking the full game. I feel like this line is too low. I feel like it's trappy. I feel like it's kind of like the Colts, you know, like the Colts should have been double-digit favorites in that game, and for some reason they ended up just absolutely, you know, losing it in overtime. So there's really just nothing you can do about that. But I feel like this line is, when it comes to the full game, the 6.5, there's just something trappy about it, and I just don't trust it. So we're going to be going with the first half here. First things first, the Broncos are just a much better team. There's no doubt about it. They have the better team, and they also have the much better quarterback, even though Russell Wilson literally just switched teams. But Russell Wilson, I feel like, is going to have much more of an impact on the Denver Broncos than them picking up Geno Smith or Drew Lock. I feel like despite those two kind of switching teams, I think that the Broncos are a much better team, and they have a much better quarterback. And in these early games, especially in the NFL, that's the kind of things that you want to bet on, is just the better team, the better quarterback, stuff like that. I think it's a really good spot, and I just feel like the Broncos are a more complete team, not only on the offensive side of the ball with all the weapons that they do have there in Denver, but also on the defense. I feel like they're a much more complete, solid defense for Denver as well, and I definitely think they can get it done. And the over-under is set to 44.5. They're expecting a very low-scoring game, and, well, a decently low-scoring game, I guess I should say. And I get it. So that's the reason I don't want to take the full game is plus 6.5, because if it were to go under, then it's going to have to be super low scoring for them to be able to cover that. So I just didn't trust it. I went with the first 5. So that's going to be our third and final play of the day. Broncos minus 3.5 in the first half versus the Seahawks at minus 115 odds. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Like I said, we are still currently on the road to 7,000 subscribers. So if you guys are new, make sure that you guys are subbed. But that's going to do it for me. This is King Sarah signing out. Peace.